Hello, good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be participating in a DRTA. So a DRTA stands for a directed reading and thinking activity. So you will each be given 2 articles about pumpkins. That's going to be our theme for today. And I've created some questions for you to find and answer within those 2 articles. But before we get to that, we are going to watch a time-lapse video of a pumpkin growing. So we can't ourselves go outside and plant a pumpkin right now and be able to see it very quickly. So we have someone who has done that for us, and through YouTube, and we are able to see this pumpkin grow really quickly, and they've sped it up. So we're going to see a pumpkin fully grow from planting a seed to a big gigantic pumpkin. So what are some things, before we start the video, what are some things that you know about pumpkins already? Yeah, wonderful. They start from seeds, just like a lot of our fruits and vegetables. All of our fruits and vegetables, they start with a seed planted in the ground. And yeah, it comes out from the vine. So eventually the pumpkin, that stem that we usually see cut off when we go pick pumpkins at pumpkin patches, they have a stem, and that's where the pumpkin is grown from. So now let's get into our video. So I'm gonna find the video for us to watch. And there is our pumpkin all full and grown. Very awesome to see, I think. Very cool to be able to have that. Just some questions to ask you, boys and girls, after the video. I just wanted to know, what are some things that you noticed as you were watching about the pumpkin growing? Yeah, so it grew from that vine. Yeah, it had like a stem at the end of the pumpkin that just kind of, as it grew, it fell off, we saw. Yeah, and there was a flower coming out too. I definitely did not know. Yeah, and there was a lot of bushes and kind of just like greenery coming out for just, you know, that one pumpkin. There was a lot happening there, yeah. All right, what are some things that people use pumpkins for that you all may know about? Yeah, Halloween for carving pumpkins. Wonderful. Yeah, some people use it to make pumpkin pie, right? Awesome. So those are some great things and some great ideas. And we got to see a really awesome video. Now we're going to continue on to our DRTA. So I want you all to make sure that you have your articles out and ready that I passed out. We are going to read each of the articles by chunks. You're going to silently read one by one, and I'm going to give you a question before you read each chunk that you're going to have to find within the paragraph. And once you've found it, all you have to do is highlight it. So I'm going to ask you the question, and anything that answers that question, you go ahead and highlight. So for our first article, it's going to be from World Book, and your first question is going to be, read to find out 2 facts describing pumpkins. 2 facts describing pumpkins. All right, what are some things that you found? Yeah, pumpkins have hard shells and coarse and stringy pulp. What else? Most pumpkins weigh 15 to 30 pounds. Very interesting. So for chunk 2, our question is, read to find out 4 uses for pumpkins. 4 uses for pumpkins. All right, what are some uses you found? Yeah, people use pumpkins to cook, like pumpkin pie. Farmers use pumpkins to feed their livestock. Pumpkin seeds are used as snacks and they give iron and protein. Yeah, and people also carve pumpkins for Halloween, like we said earlier, right? For our third chunk, our question is going to be, read to find 1 new fact about pumpkins. All right, so can anyone tell me 1 new fact that they learned about pumpkins? Yeah, that's a great one. Only male pumpkin blossoms have pollen that is transferred by bees that are transferred to the female flowers. Very interesting. Chunk 4 is going to be, our question is going to be, read to find 2 facts about how a pumpkin grows. So we get to see an awesome video. Now we're going to read a little bit about how a pumpkin grows. What are some 2 facts that you may have found? Yeah, 1, pumpkins grow on vines and bushes. And 2, pumpkins thrive in slightly acid oil. Very good facts. For chunk 5, paragraph 5, we're going to read to find out where pumpkins originated from. So go ahead and read. And where did they originate from? Did anyone tell me from what they read? Yep, pumpkins originated from North America. All right, boys and girls, now we are going to continue our DRTA with our second article from Young People's Encyclopedia. For our first chunk, we want to read to find how pumpkin compares to a squash. So go ahead and do that. All right, can anyone answer how a pumpkin compares to a squash? Yeah, so a squash and a pumpkin are definitely closely related, like the article tells us. And they both grow on vines, and they have a similar taste, but they are 2 different, right? 2 different things, right? Our second question is, read to find out the kinds of uses for pumpkins. So we already saw a little bit. Let's read to find out some more in this article. So what were some things that you found? Yeah, a pumpkin can be eaten and can be used for soup, cake, and bread. Pumpkins are also used around Halloween time, like we said, to make jack-o'-lanterns. Very cool. All right. So now that we have read that article and answered our questions and highlighted those, so now we are going to now that we have finished our reading, we're going to move on to our next fun activity, and we will be making a pumpkin trivia booklet. So each of you are all going to be, in the end, have your own little booklet to take home. So to make our booklet, we want to grab one piece of orange construction paper and one white construction paper, and you want to fold both of them in half. Fold them both in half like so. I have this one. We're going to fold them in half, hamburger style. And you are going to put the white paper inside of the orange one. Our orange one's going to be like a cover, kind of, for our pumpkin. All right. And now I'm going to have you each staple it. So you only need 2 staples just to kind of make it more of a book feel. All right, now we can get into our directions once we have our booklet made. So I'm going to give you a few moments to make sure you have your booklet all set up, and then we're going to start adding our information into it. All right, so you should have your booklet all ready and stapled with the white paper inside. So for our first direction, first it says, write the title, Pumpkin Trivia Booklet, on the front cover and your name on that orange cover. So like I did here, you're going to see the title and then my name here. So go ahead and take a few moments to do that. So now you want to open up to your first page. On that inside, you are going to write Table of Contents. So that's going to be your title for that page. And then you're going to write what the things that are going to be in our book. So it's going to be description, page 1, uses, page 2, growth, page 3, and trivia, page 4. So you are going to write those in the booklet, and I'm going to show you here. So this is how it should come out to be. So table of contents, description, uses, growth, and trivia. And then those are our page numbers. That's what they're going to be. All right, so after you have done that, we're going to turn to our next page. It should be our white page, and we're going to write description at the top of our page. And then we're going to write a 1 at the bottom because we want to number our page. And then we're going to write in this page, so far you should have this description and page 1 at the bottom. And now in this page, we're going to write 2 facts that describe a pumpkin. So it can be the 2 facts that you found in the article. So go back to the article and look at the things that you highlighted and pick 2 of the facts and go ahead and write them down. So my 2 facts are going to be, my first one's going to be pumpkins have hard shells. Then my second one's going to be most pumpkins weigh from 15 to 30 pounds. Right, so that's going to be my first page, and I'm going to have that there. So I'm going to have the description, and then I'm going to have my 2 facts. So go ahead and take the time to do that. So now turn to the next page, which is our page 2. And you're going to write at the top uses. So that's going to be our page 2 that we wrote in our table of content. And at the bottom of that, you are going to write a number 2 because that's our page 2. And for this one, you are going to write a list of how pumpkins are used. And we want at least 4. So what are some 4 different ways that we use pumpkins? So go back to your article again and look for those things that are highlighted. So for me, I put in mine, people use pumpkins to cook. And then people use pumpkins farmers use pumpkins to feed livestock. Pumpkin seeds are also used as a snack. And people carve them. People also use pumpkins to carve for Halloween. So now I have my page filled out. So I have my uses, the number 2, and I have my 4 things that pumpkins are used for. So on our next page, you want to write growth at the top, growth. And then at the in the corner, you want to write page 3. We want to number our pages. Then here you're going to write 2 facts about how pumpkins grow. So again, go back to that article, highlight, go to that chunk, and look for those 2 facts about how pumpkins grow that we talked about, and there may be another one you wanted to use in there. So the ones I'm going to use is pumpkins grow on vines and bushes. And then my other one is going to be pumpkins thrive in slightly acid soil. So those are my 2. And now that I have growth, I have my 2 growing pumpkin facts, and I have my page number at the bottom. We want to make sure we have all of those things. Now I can turn to my next page. And here I'm going to write trivia at the top of my page and a number 4 at the bottom corner. So it should be like this, and here's my 4 at the bottom corner. Remember, we have that page number and that heading. And for this one, on this page, you want to write 1 more interesting fact you learned about pumpkins. So any interesting fact that you learned, go to that section where you highlighted your interesting fact, pick it out, and go ahead and add it to your book. So mine is going to be most pumpkins blossoms are male. So most of them are male. That's a really fun fact to know. But you can use any other fun fact that you found in there and that you highlighted, of course. But those are just the ones that I used. So again, this page here, we have trivia, we have the page number, and we have the thing that our instructions told us to have, which for this one was make sure we had that 1 interesting fact that we learned about pumpkins. So now, boys and girls, now that we have our booklet and we've created it, we've gone through the steps, we've went to the directions, we have our table of contents, we have that cover page, on each page we make sure we have our heading, we have our page number, and we have the information that our directions listed for us. So now that we have that and you're finishing that up, any extra thing you needed to do, I want you to go back into your book and I want you to add detail. Go over your book in marker, make it look pretty, add some pictures, really take your time with it and just add all the information, make sure that's all there, and make it look pretty so you can take this and home and show it to your friends, show it to your peers, show it to your family. All right, boys and girls. So now to conclude our lesson, today we have learned what DRTA stands for, and we got to participate in one. So it was a directed reading and thinking activity, and we all did a wonderful job participating in it today. So we also learned a lot of new facts about pumpkins during our reading, and a lot of things that you may not have known before. Like most pumpkins weigh from 15 to 30 pounds, but some can weigh as much as 200 pounds. We also learned that pumpkins originated from North America and that they are used in food like pie, soup, cake, and bread. I had no idea that pumpkins were in so many different foods. I definitely knew about pumpkin pie, but soup, cake, and bread, that was something that I learned when I first read the article. Pumpkins are also used to make jack-o'-lanterns during Halloween. So they're carved and we use them outside, and it's a really fun thing to do during Halloween. And another thing, farmers use them for livestock feed, which is a very interesting fact. I definitely did not know that either. So we also, along with those great new facts that we learned about how pumpkins grow and what they're used for, and just all that new information that we have, we also read and saw some new words in our reading. So we saw words like livestock, which was groups of farm animals, carving, to cut something out in order to make a design or an inscription, ripe, when fruits and vegetables are ready to be harvested and eaten. Pollen, very tiny grains produced from flowers. A rind, the tough outer skin of a fruit, and originated where something started or came from originally. So boys and girls, you all did a wonderful job today, and we got to learn a lot of cool things about pumpkins. And thank you so much for all your hard work. Make sure you turn in your pumpkin trivia booklet and your article so I can take a look at it, and I will hand them back. And I want you boys and girls to feel free to share it to your peers, share it to your family members, show them all the things that you learned about pumpkins. But just first, make sure you have those turned in so we can get that all completed, and I'll hand them back to you once they're ready. So thank you so much, boys and girls.